The Creative Collective is a networking group for creative businesses. And this is their podcast.
2, 5, 4.
Still makes me laugh that you have to look at your hands.
Oh, episode 29. We're here. Back in NDH Productions HQ. What are we talking about for episode 29?
Are you testing my memory from 10 minutes ago in the car?
Yeah.
We're talking, how has running a business changed you as a person?
Yes, there we go. Yeah. So I'm thinking from maybe a personal development side of things. And obviously, when you run a business, it's your whole life to a certain extent. It overlaps to everything in your life, doesn't it? So you've been full-time 5 years? Yeah.
It's gone far too quickly.
It's quick. Time flies when you're running a multi-billion-pound voiceover business. How do you think you've changed? How do you think you've developed? Potentially in all the good ways, but maybe bad ways too.
Bad ways.
But let's start with the positive.
Yes. There's a really obvious one that historically I was always really shy. And I know that's hard to believe. But in a work situation, I would hate having to go out for work drinks. It was amazing when I got to work from home for like 10 years because I barely had to see anyone. Family parties, that sort of thing. Growing up, I was incredibly shy, hated talking in front of class, never put my hand up, those sorts of things. Yeah, not that I didn't have friends because I was comfortable with my friends, but when you start to get out of that circle, it's a bit awk. So, and this was right up until I was made redundant from my last full-time job, which was like as I was hitting 40, I was still in that sort of don't like really socializing with people I don't know sort of phase, and then decided for whatever reason to start a career where I have to talk.
Good move.
For a living, despite not liking talking. So there's two really positive things that happened together that increase my confidence as a person. And one is literally having to talk out loud lots of the time for the job. But also, of course, and this goes for any business, you have to talk to people or you won't get work. Well, you possibly could, but you won't get as much work and you won't build that support network, relationships, etc., etc. So in terms of how that helped me as a person, much more confident in all situations. Still a little bit wobbly here and there, but for example, when I'm at the shop, I will strike up a conversation with the person serving me.
And you wouldn't have done that before?
Highly, highly unlikely.
Do you think that you're doing that because you're happier now? I tell you for why I said that. Is that, if you're for whatever reason in a good mood, and you go a bit further with being polite or just being a bit happier around people, because you're having a good day. So maybe, and obviously you love running your business, which has that effect on the rest of your life. So maybe it could be might have something to do with that.
I think there's something there definitely intertwined in a being
good word.
Generally, thank you. Intertwined. What's that again? Intertwined. That's like when I kept saying platforms. And when you're happy, it just improves everything, doesn't it? It does. So your outlook is generally better.
Yeah. Okay. So confidence and public speaking. So, for instance, we had TCC talks beginning of October.
Yeah.
If I knew you, weirdly, I didn't know you 5 years ago. That is really strange. I feel like I've known you for all of my life. Take that as a positive or a negative. If I had told you then that you would be in Rochester, basically hosting or being on stage, doing a talk on networking and business related, or running TCC and being the face of that, you probably would have said
the face.
The face. What a lovely
half
face.
Of the face.
Yeah. The better face.
there's a couple of things that happened in the last year. So I read a piece at Seabix Christmas Carol thing.
Jojo Galant's
That's it.
network.
And I was incredibly nervous
You were, yeah.
for that. So utterly nervous. On stage in front of people, just doing my job, basically, that I do every day. Fast forward to TCC Talks. Before we went on, I took 3 deep breaths and we got on. I was absolutely fine.
So strange, isn't it?
And that's just a year, well, a 10 or 11 months difference in that.
Okay, but I think that if you got asked to do the speech again at the networking, you probably would. I think you would still be more nervous than you were going on TCC Talks too, because you're out your comfort zone, and TCC, you're so comfortable with TCC that I think it's just maybe a different scenario. I don't know.
Possibly. But with the TCC Talks, so we had our own talk that we were doing, trying to educate people. So there was a lot more pressure there, I think. Whereas the other one, I was just reading from a passage from the Bible, so it was nothing. I was just regurgitating words in a way, not having to memorize a 20-minute lecture.
Well, you did it very well.
Thank you very much. You was patchy.
What was that?
I said you were patchy. Your performance was patchy.
No, I'm talking about the reading. So
okay.
Yeah. But I was patchy in TCC Talks.
I was joking. So what about you then? How is running a business? And is there anything that you can take from photography or videography specifically that has improved you as a person, or improved your life?
I think the main thing for me running a business, what it teaches you is that you can't stand still in any way. You've always got to be thinking, and we've said this loads of times on the pod, to maintain your business is bloody hard. To maintain, you can't just do what you did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So maintaining is growth in some ways, because you've always got to be thinking ahead, and you've always got to be thinking about your skills, how they can get better, can your marketing get better, and there's so many things that you can improve in your business to get a better business. And I feel like that attitude of constant improvement has affected my whole life, because there's a really famous, well, it's not that famous because he's a cricketer.
Never heard of it.
No, well, cricket. Never heard of cricket. What's his first name? Something Smith. Anyway, it'll come to me. Famous Australian cricketer, Steve Smith.
Couldn't have a more generic name.
What's his name? Steve. That's it, yeah. Steve Smith. And he lives by the mantra, better tomorrow. So whenever he finishes his training session, he will go back to the changing room with his bat, and he's just constantly saying the mantra, better tomorrow, better tomorrow. Now, he's mad in terms of his methods and everything like that. But I really like that attitude of just trying to be better. And again, we've said this loads of times, it's the cumulative small things that you do over an extended period of time, which makes the massive difference when you zoom out.
Atomic Habits is the book, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, which I haven't read, but I think that's the classic case of, because it's such a famous book, if I read that, I wouldn't know it, but I would recognise a lot of it, because it's kind of just in that culture now. Yeah. So I think, yes, it's a general thing, but yeah, using the business as a vehicle for my life improvement, because to run a business, especially if it's just you in the business, it takes over pretty much everything, doesn't it?
Can you pinpoint something in your life that has improved because of that attitude in work?
Cool, that's a good question. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
I'll ruminate on that. I'll let it marinate.
Yeah.
But there'll definitely be,
What you were saying.
Definitely be something.
What you were saying about like you can't sit still or you can't stand still when you're running a business. Do you find, and this is because I think I do find this, that you're in that frame of mind pretty much all the time, because you have to always thinking about, maybe I could try that or do this or, develop that. That time in and out of work just goes so quickly.
You mean generally? Yeah, I mean, I think that's something to do with us being an age where time does go a bit quicker.
Okay.
But I think that I find that if you're really busy and you're kind of packing your days, whatever that looks like, I think time does go slower.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
Yeah, I always think that if I'm really busy and I've had a busy week, that week will go slower than if I haven't been doing much. And I've always found that if I've had, this was even before the business and everything, if I've had a week or a couple of weeks where I haven't felt like I've done too much, time just absolutely flies by. Whereas if I pack my days, and then look back on my diary, I'm thinking, oh yeah, no, I've done that and I've done that, and that feels like about 2 weeks ago, and that's so
it's kind of the opposite for me.
Really?
Like if I have a packed day,
yeah.
And I'm in that sort of flow state of, if I'm editing something for a couple of hours or whatever, then that time just goes. And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah, so I know what you mean. That individual section of the day, because if video editing is a great one. So if you're kind of in the zone and you're just sort of, you're there and concentrating, that can go really quickly. But then cumulatively over the day or over the week, it will feel like it's been quite a while.
Are there any methods that you can give me to slow down time or my perception of time?
Well, the perception, I can't slow down time, unfortunately. I wouldn't be a videographer if I could slow down time.
Yeah, your videos just all be really long, pointlessly.
I tell you what helps for me, the perception of slowing down time, is I do a 365 project.
Ooh.
So that's a photo every single day. And that could be the highlight of my day, or it could be just something I see. It's just on my phone. And then every sort of 30 to 50 days, I upload it to a G drive, and then that gives me it's basically a diary of the whole year. Why that's great is because it's so easy to, and this is not just in business, I think this is in life, it's so easy just to think, right, what's the next thing? And you're not looking back. Whereas you can go back a couple of months and say, oh, yeah, I remembered that, and that takes me back to that. And then because you're actually remembering more things that you've done over that year, it slows it down. That's what I found. It doesn't speed it up.
I like that.
Yeah.
I might apply that next year.
It's really difficult to do. You think it's really simple because most people take like photos of the day. But if you're taking a portion of the day where you're mindful of, oh, that was a brilliant part of the day. I'll take a photo of that. And it's I mean, it was right up your street, because I know that, potentially we're going to be talking about legacy at some point in these episodes. And I know that what you do for your kids in terms of your voice notes, and so that could feed into that quite nicely.
Love that.
Yeah. 365 project. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nikki, have you ever done that? No. Okay. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. So we've got your confidence generally.
Yep.
And we've got my sort of more general point about constant improvement, whatever that would be.
Can you answer the question yet? How has your life improved outside of work because of that mindset?
Yeah, well, outside of work, it's a weird thing, because I think it's something that's a very good thing, but I think sometimes I can take it far too far. And because of my attitude of better tomorrow, I find it very difficult to relax and switch off. And whereas I think when I'm at my happiest, I'm at my most balanced in terms of doing the things I need to do that I get enjoyment from, but also just sitting back and thinking, that's fine. Being where my feet are. That's what I need to. That's what
Did you make that up?
No, that's another cricket quote. I went to Wales and listened to a cricket audio book. I got all this philosophy on there. But being where your feet are is about being present, basically. So not looking back.
Who's your favourite cricketer ever?
My favourite cricketer ever. Great. I never thought we'd talk about cricket in this episode. My favourite cricketer ever.
Let's narrow it down. English Test match cricketer.
It's got to be Joe Root.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Joe Root. Who's yours? You could have said something funny there. Ian Botham.
I was going to say Graham Gooch.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Good. Okay. Next, how has a business developed you as a person? I've got another one. If you can't think of one.
Go on then. You go first. I have got something.
Okay. Well, if I go for 2 minutes and then you can bring us home. Resilience. I'm so much more resilient now than I was. Because running a creative business, you need resilience, not only in terms of maybe going for jobs that you don't get, or just not hearing back from people, but also the resilience of sending over work and then the client potentially not liking it or having feedback that cuts you down. And at the very start, I hated it and I really struggled with it. Now it's not so bad because I feel like I've got enough evidence in my head that I'm okay at what I do. And if something goes completely wrong, I can probably pinpoint why that was or why that is for that project. But resilience, yeah. And just knowing that you're going to have some really shit days in business where things just go wrong, or shit weeks or shit months, years, decades.
What a shit life I've had. Running that business was the worst decision I've had.
But the resilience to keep on going.
You heard it right here, folks.
Through that.
Ben's life has not improved because of business. Picking up on the resilience.
Progressively worse. Yeah. My life's gone.
Yeah. We did say there might be some negatives.
Well, yeah. There we go.
Picking up kind of on the resilience thing is like celebrating the good stuff in business has helped me to focus on a positive in a situation outside of work, which again is part of building up that thick skin and resilience. Like if something bad happens, I don't know, at home with one of the kids or whatever, be like, yeah, but this also still happened in that situation. Let's focus on the good stuff and not moan at them for the bad stuff.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to, hone in on positiveness.
Do you think that attitude of self-development, or whatever you would call it, if you were still employed, do you think that you would have that kind of attitude? Because I'm almost convinced that if I was still employed, I wouldn't have the kind of drive to be better because you're still being paid the same. Like, yes, of course, you can internally get promoted, but I think that because you run the business, that adds the fuel to that attitude.
Everything is on your back, isn't it? Like when you run a business, so and that's the good stuff and the bad stuff. Employed life for me was always just the money, I think. I understand that I had to do it, or I thought I had to have a job. Actually commented on someone's post yesterday about what would you tell your younger self, and what I would say was starting a business is an option, because it was never mentioned at school, all through school. It was just get a job. So back to your question. If I was still employed, my life would be stagnant, I think.
Yeah.
That's
the word.
Kind of there already. There was no fulfillment in employment. I had to get it outside of work with music and whatever else, hobbies. Whereas now, doing what I do, there's fulfillment from at least one thing every day.
But that feeds into the wider point, doesn't it? Fulfillment comes from being better at lots of things in your life, which then has that residual effect on your business. If you're employed, like stagnant's a great word.
Stagnant.
Stagnant.
Smells as well.
Yeah. Don't drink stagnant water. That's the tip for
Unless
the
you're
day.
a bird, they don't care.
No, they've got guts. They got very good guts, haven't they? In terms of not getting food poisoning.
We've been everywhere.
Everywhere. I always feel like the first episode of these sessions, we're just warming up.
Bit rambly.
Very rambly. The odd nugget of cricket wisdom.
The odd bit on topic.
Yeah. And then everywhere else. Look at that. It's just ticked over 20 minutes. We're done.
Perfect.
Um,
Good luck with the edit.
no edit needed.